There are definitely things that can kill your gains. Always go to failure. Never go to failure. Usually these things are actions or habits that create obstacles that get in the way of your ability to make progress. Always chase strength progression. Never use strength as a method to build muscle. But the two things that are actually killing your gains are two ideas. The idea of always and never. Nuance is boring, and being the guy who always says the answer is in the middle or is a centrist about everything is often just being intellectually lazy, and it's quite often not true. Never use this exercise. Always train this exercise. While the answer is usually in the middle, it is not the right answer because it is in the middle. You have to know why you do things. That's what makes your decision the right decision. As a boxing coach, something I tell people all the time is that when a beginner makes a mistake, it is an accident. When a pro makes a mistake, it is a technique. You will watch guys at the highest level punch with their hands down. They throw across and their shoulder is not perfectly covering their chin, but they make it work all the time and are winning world titles. Because when beginners make a mistake, it is an accident. When pros make a mistake, it is a technique. As a coach or as an influencer, we have to be careful about how we communicate our ideas, and we have to make sure the concepts we use and the definitions we use are sensible and consistent. But this is not always adhered to in our space because there's just so many voices that are vying for your attention in the YouTube fitness community or whatnot. And what you will notice from good coaches and from good sources of information is that they very rarely and very carefully use words like always and never. The best coaches that I have worked with, talked with, and have communicated with have always relied on a slightly different question or line of reasoning when faced with certain decisions that people are asking them about. And it's kind of annoying to be pressed with the question that they ask, but it is very important and very useful. When I am receiving questions, or even when I am asking questions, more often than not, the more sensible question you should be asking is, why do it that way? In life, the man with a why can bear almost any how. In lifting, the man with a why will find the most reasonable how. If you want to lose weight as fast as possible, you should ask yourself, why do it that way? If you want to put on strength as much as possible without putting on any amount of weight, why do it that way? You want to build as much muscle without gaining any weight. You want to build a bigger chest without ever doing any type of benching or pressing. Why do it that way? Our intentions might be in the right place, but sometimes how we formulate our ideas or our desires will determine how we make plans to achieve them. And the best plan comes from the most level-headed of places. And more often than not, what I notice is that our intentions get hijacked by being told that we should always do something or never do something. Sometimes we're told never do the barbell bench press. You should never bulk. You're just going to get fat. Or sometimes you're told that trying to train for size is irrelevant. You should only be training for strength because if you get stronger, you'll get bigger. And while there's some truth to that, that is not the whole truth. And if you just solely rely on always or never dichotomies of thinking, you're never going to get the right answer for you. The key idea here is that you shouldn't rely on these rules that solely tell you always do this and never do that. But you should rely on your own knowledge and experience, as well as the knowledge and experience of people who have achieved what you want to achieve and know why you are choosing the things that you are choosing to do. Because in some cases, you might be making a mistake, but in others, you are choosing the technique that will most benefit you. Maybe trying to fast all the time is not working out well for you. Try something else, or vice versa. Maybe fasting didn't work for you in the past, but maybe it's what's going to work well for you now. Or let's say, for example, you build most of your size with benching, but now it's just becoming less of a fruitful endeavor for you, so you need to do something else. If you rely on always or never, then you miss out on the ability to make changes. And then let's say you have that sophist who decides to say, well, what if I include always do this, but in this situation, don't do it? The ad hoc stipulation you are adding completely undermines your initial argument, and it only makes you look even more dumb. Be clear and consistent in how you define things, because it matters how you tell these things to people. So, with all that being said, here are my personal list of always and never rules. Number 1, always keep form standardized with the goal in mind. You should either perform to a competition standard, because let's say you are trying to be a powerlifter or you are a powerlifter, competition standard should be something that is a central feature of your training, or you use the standard that best challenges your muscle. And when I say standard, I don't mean perfect. I'm just simply saying that whatever range of motion you use, the amount of control on the eccentric, the pauses that you use, and the amount of body English should all be standardized. Not perfect, standardized. That means there can be some deviation, but it's within a reasonable range. Never add weight at the expense of your standardized form. Progressive overload only counts if form remains standardized. Don't think that if you increase your touch and go bench PR, that will automatically improve your pause bench. And don't use your touch and go rep max and you put that into a calculator and think that's what you can do for a 1 rep max. If the form is different, that is now an exercise variation. Don't use that as your basis for what you think you could hit. Always aim for progression and getting stronger by doing more reps, more sets, more weight with the same form or better form. And try to do that with a wide variety of different exercises, compounds, and isolations in order for you to be the biggest and strongest version of you. And lastly, never try to isolate either training or nutrition as being the single most important thing for size or strength. If you really want to get big, or if you really want to get strong, or both, you have to take training and nutrition seriously. There are probably more always and nevers that are better for what we can discuss that are out there, but they're just not coming to my mind right now. So, what are some things that you personally believe a lifter should always or never do? And what are some myths you fell for because someone said if you want to maximize size or strength, you always have to do this or never have to do that? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd really be interested in some of the things that we hold near and dear to our hearts, but also have fell for in our lives. I think these are some discussions that we can have as far as a community to really get a glimpse of what we think is the most useful, but also some of the things that have led us astray in the most abhorrent way possible. Thank you so much for watching. That's it for the video today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on Instagram at StanStrength or use the link in the description below to sign up for coaching. And always remember, do your best, or at least do what you can, keep trying hard, and start where you stand.